So, do an update. The problem child 32 actually goes alright, but we found that the thing floods a bit when it's when it sits there. The seat doesn't seal properly, or the float level might be a bit high on it. So there's that, but it goes properly. It actually cuts quite well. We've shortened the chain today. Took about, I don't know, what was it, 3 joiners or something? Yeah, 3 joiner links, took them out. Anyhow, picked up the one that Uncle Ian dropped off at old man's, an old Echo. It's got a few parts missing, but that's alright. We'll play with that in the future. Something to come. So yes, Friday the 7th will be my last day at work. I have been made redundant due to the fact that just no work. What do you do? It is what it is. So what am I going to do? I've teed up a couple of tree jobs. We'll see how that goes. Might freelance climb for a little bit. We'll see how that goes too. That'll work dependent. I think I've got wood chips in my beard still. Anyway. Not quite sure yet. Like I've got small engine type self-taught type qualification. Well, not qualifications, but skills. Because I'm not qualified, but I've got the skills. And I'm a self-taught climber. So yeah, I've got a couple of chainsaws I'm still working on for other people. One's ready to go back. Other one needs a gasket to stop it from flooding, and because it's a Mac, or Mini Mac 6, Mac 110 type thing, the engine needs to come out again. Not as hard to do, but the engine needs to come out so as I can put this particular gasket in the carby, because someone's had it apart, and in short, they've not put that gasket back in, which is why it's flooding. Because what side of it? Yeah, it's on the, got the carby cover with the little vent in it on the float side. And think about that. Then it's supposed to go the float gasket, like with the actual metering gasket. It's supposed to go there. Then another gasket, which is to give it room, and it's a Zama carby, and the measurements that I got off the internet from across the top of the carby, it's like 0.62 or something. I'm just trying to think. 0.012 thou is what you're supposed to get in underneath a flat edge before it touches the needle, like the needle linkage. But when you look at the tool on the internet from the Zamakabi factory, it seems a lot lower than that. So it still may need adjusting, because that may be bogus, or for a different model. Who knows? So do that, and that saw will go, because it did actually lose spark on me here. It wasn't had a weak spark, and I fixed that. The points are a bit dirty because it's old enough to have points. And what else was wrong with it? Oh, they just need to be opened up a bit. They were too close. So yeah, I've sorted that out. So now it's just carby related. Anyhow, so I don't know what's going to happen with my redundancy type scenario. So I got one more week of work, and then I've got a handful of trees that I can go do. and we will see after that. I don't know. I've got emailed everybody I can of in the industry that I'm in, and the fact is, look, I'm not tooting my own horn or anything because I'm not like that. But there's two guys at SCT that I trained to drive reach stacker, 45 ton reach stacker, and they are considered good operators from what I'm told. And I put a lot of time into them when they worked with the company I'm working with currently for another week. And then there's two drivers out at PN, like Pacific National Freight in Adelaide, that I trained. One of them was a bit young when we had him, and I did really like the guy. I still do. I still talk to him. But I was delivering twist locks to Berth 29 one day, and I got talking to the guy that had to escort me out there because they got to escort you everywhere you go out there if you're not one of their own workers, which is a fair thing. Make sure nothing happens to you. Anyhow, in a nutshell, he goes, "Did you know this guy? Apparently he worked with you guys." I'm like, "Yeah, I trained him." He goes, "Well, he's actually turned out to be a really good operator, and that he's matured and everything like that." And yeah, and the other operator, he was really good too. He was quick to pick it up. He's a little bit cocky, but he's still a really good operator. He's made a few mistakes apparently, but he's still a really good operator. So look, I trained those two over there as well. So the other thought I had, I don't know, this is a long-term thing. So I wonder what it takes to become a trainer and assessor for 45 ton reach stacker. And see, I've spent a lot of time in the Omega empty fork as well. So I really liked it actually. I thought it was pretty neat. Pretty good little unit, light unit for getting around a yard with, I got along with it really well, and I've had a lot of experience training people. I trained all of the guys that went through Australian Milling Group, or Grain Traders. They changed the name to do the reach stacker operating, and some took to it really easy, and some spent a lot of time with, and like you had to keep telling them, like, you've got this, like you will get there. Just and they did. They did really well. So, and there was a couple that needed more time than what we could give them, but the foundations were there. So to really make him a good operator. So anyhow, I guess I've had to be the one to sit there in the machine and go, center your load, bring your boom back in, make sure you can see in front of you before you drive forward, make sure you've looked backwards before you go backwards, and then just before you go backwards again, even though you've got the beepers on in reverse, make sure you look again, even though you've got to look 3 or 4 containers high. Because I was actually trained to do 5 high, because we're doing 5 high GPs, and I did do 5 high cubes as well. So, and there's maybe 6 inches in it between the bottom of the 5th one and the top of the 4th one at 62 degrees and full boom out. And that was on a bigger machine. That was on a Vulcan Lind machine, Lindy. So yeah. Anywho, just a quick update of what's going on. So I'm not panicking yet. I'll let you know when I start panicking. When it's like, mortgage is coming out and I haven't got the money, I'll be like, fuck, help. But look, seriously, I hope to pick something up. And it is a shit time to find a job, but I'm not really that fussy. Um, I've got a HC truck license, so I can drive a truck a bit for somebody, I suppose. I'm not sure. I've stacked hay with a telehandler and done this and done that. Like it's almost that point. This is almost that point to test me. Like, do I get right into this tree type stuff and try and not necessarily make a full-time business, but between this and something else, slap an ABN on it and just send it, rather than just trying to get experience. Find a few other tools, find a chipper, find a truck. I don't know. Not really in the position to find a truck, but like if I had a tipping ute or work with another company, that might be the best start. I've got a few I've done all the emailing. I've done all the phone calls I can do for the moment. There is probably 2 other phone calls I could make. One will definitely take me if I'm stuck. But it's at the sacrifice of when I say it's sacrifice, like, I would rather have more experience before I ask this person for help. So, I guess the only way to get experience is to do it. But I don't want to let them down either, as funny as that sounds. So, yeah. It's complicated. I want to be productive. I don't want to be the weak link in the chain. So, it is what it is. I just got to work out what the next step is. Anyhow, I'll upload this pretty soon. So yeah, flip the camera around, thing on the climbing gear, and we got rid of the Suzuki. Oh, it's under here. And Daryl was kind enough. I didn't want anything for the Suzuki. I just wanted him to have a reliable vehicle, but he decided to give me this harness here, which is better than the one that I've been using. And I've seen him use this harness, and I've seen Mick use one just like it. So, in a nutshell, it's got to be better than the one I got over here, which is underneath everything. It's actually at the bottom because it stacks in there nicer that way. And look, seriously, if I get into it properly, maybe I get some lighter spurs too, because every little bit of weight counts, doesn't it? But we'll see. That's everything there I can work with for now. Like, at the moment, I know no different. So, like I need to go and put that on and set that up for me and whatever, so I can just slip it on and off and do what I need to do. And yeah, the other thing I got to remember to do this time, I stuffed up last time. I forgot to take my wedges. It's like, really, of all the things I could have forgotten, I'm up in a tree and I'm looking for a wedge. I end up using a screwdriver. I improvised. So they've been hiding up here. So while I think of it, and I should get some more eventually, but this is enough, enough to do a day out cutting wood. And I'd take a big one and a small one up in the tree with me. Maybe 2 small ones and a big one. So before I forget, they can go in there. And I really should go do some washing, because I've got to do that. I probably should throw not this chain and bar in. Which one's this? It is a good one, but it's not a great one. I know this one for the little saw. I know this one's in good nick. I think it's sharp. Yeah, I did sharpen it. Should throw that one in somewhere. Plus the one I've got on the... That's not the little saw I'm taking. I should try that in a different box. This little saw over here has actually got a fairly nice 16-inch bar on it. And the old Johnny Red's got a 25-inch 325 on it. Why is it laying over? Because I was looking at that, checking that it had fuel in there. It does not have any, I don't think. So anyway, that's the idea with that. And that's I need to get a lighter climbing saw. I don't know whether to borrow one. I think there's actually one I can borrow off of a friend. Because that thing is all die-cast aluminium. It's bloody heavy. It goes like a champ. It's a great saw. It only needed bloody fuel line and points when I got it. It does leak oil. But all those do that. The fitting needs remanufacturing. I should take this one. I should take them 3. And maybe take my 23 as a spare. My 1-2's got a brand new bar and chain on it. That looks quite nice. That's courtesy of old man. And 325. That's pretty nice. That's a 16-inch. That's a good little saw, that. $100 I paid for that. And I've used it no end. And the bloody dog's been in here. Animals have been in here. Need to clean up again. So that one's got to go back to its owner. That one I've got to actually do something with too. Take back to the owner once I've done the chain on that. I've got to shorten it. It's out of adjustment. I've got to do the bar up. So I'll take the bloody bar to old man and I'll do it in his vise because he's got a squeezy tool. 2 roller bearings on it that you squeeze it in. I'll do that and shorten that up and then that can go back to my neighbour. So yeah, I haven't forgotten. I've just been busy and now I'm about to not be busy. So, you know. Yeah, well, that's unfortunately the way the cookies crumbled. Yeah. Oh, actually, while I got this one here, this one's not mine. This is my aunt's chainsaw. I'm just looking after it while she's a city girl, so to speak. And when she comes back to the country, she can have it back. She said I might as well look after it, use it. Needs use. It's brand new basically. Only done a handful of tanks of fuel. But I threw her bar up on the table and her chain and thought I won't use that one. I'll use this old dodgy chain that I've got. You know, it's got no cutters on it, so to speak. It's at the end of its life. Depth gauges are down. They're down in proportion to the lack of cutters. But it's a laser. I kid you not. It rips through the wood. Oh, that's my old 31. She needs sharpening. And I needed to put a new fuel tank lid on it. Which I've had for forever. But I went to undo it the other day and the lid came apart in 3 pieces. So I did that because I had that forever because I bought 2 because that's the same lid as what's on the 032 and I did one of those up a while back for myself. Well, I bought the parts and the wife put it together. This is before we were married. And I think I've actually got a better handle than that somewhere too. We'll do a video on that one because it's got a very unique brake in it and very unique clutch too. Like it, yeah, I'm not even sure how it works, but we'll delve into that together because you can rev it up with the brake on. It does something to grab the clutch to stop it throwing out, being centrifugal, stop it from throwing out. It locks it in somehow, as well as pull the brake on the clutch drum, and you can rev it up without the chain spinning, with the clutch. Yeah, like it disengages the clutch. It's pretty nifty. Not very many of them did it. But this one does. It's one of them. So that's part of the reason why it's down here. That, and it just came down because it needed a run. Put some fresh fuel in it, run it out, and cut some wood with it around the yard here. So yeah, that's enough of me flapping my jaws. I think I've said that already a few times. So yeah, I'll have to come back in and get the cat out of the shed. Anyway, that's enough out of me. Stay tuned, there will be more videos, more updates. You know, I'm not mad at anybody that have been made redundant either. It's just shit happens. It's going to be a little bit interesting to get through this. I've never spent more than 2 weeks in my life out of work, and I've had annual leave and stuff before, and that's only ever been for a fortnight at a time. I've never been the guy to take 4 weeks off. So I've wanted to. It didn't suit me then, but now having 2 kids, 4 weeks off in a row with annual leave or something like that, I reckon I could do that because it's now the right time. Like take kids, jump in a full drive, go camping, and then just breathe out for a little while. So I kind of don't mind if I've probably got enough money to survive for a while, and enough bits and pieces with friends that'll help me out if I don't get unemployment straight away or anything like that. I can sit here and do nothing, and it might give me time to breathe and just, collect my thoughts and just go, right, this is what we need to do. So, yeah. Like I hate to be in the guys' position that had to, I kind of feel for them that had to say to me that, like there is no more work here. Because I know they didn't want to do it. It's never an easy job. And we still do. Still will get along really well. Even outside of work. So, yeah. They don't need to fear me if they see me walking down the street. They don't need to cross the road. They need to come at me and say good day, and they need to come over and see what I've been up to. Like if we go months down the track, they need to come and if they see me in the pub or whatever, come and have a beer with me or something. Shoot the breeze for a while, and because this all could change tomorrow and I could go back. Who knows? And if it does, I will. There's no issue. The only issue is if I do get full-time work with somebody else and, somebody else has got enough work to keep me busy for the rest of my life, well, then I won't go back because I don't want to dick them around either. But, at the moment, whilst I'm not tied to anybody, like if they want me back, I'll go. It's not a drama because the only person that's being affected here is me. And they are too because they'd like the worker, I suppose. But yeah, fuck China, seriously. Stupid. I hope the cunts starve. Seriously, I really do. I hope they run out of bloody product from wherever the hell they're getting it from. And I hope that their people, because it's not the people, it's the governing bodies. I hope their people stand up and go, hey, what have you done? We had it good. We could get food from here, grain from there, hay from over there, wine from over here as well, and you've come and done this. And now we've got to get a second quality too. We make some of the best wine in the world. Like, come on. I'm Australian. I drink. Not in large quantities, but I drink. I should know. Anywho. Right, this time I'm ending it. We're out. Scratch your crater.